If your credit card bills have gotten out of hand, call Consolidated Credit now. They can consolidate your debts, reduce your interest rates, and get you out of debt fast. Call Consolidated Credit now. 800-440-1636. 800-440-1636. That's 800-440-1636. Consolidated Credit Counseling Services Incorporated. 5701 West Sunrise Boulevard, Fort Lauderdale, Florida. 33313. Not a loan company. Licensed by the New York Department of Financial Services and by the Vermont Department of Financial Regulation. Maryland DM 19. Oregon DM 80031. Licensed by Virginia State Corporation Commission DC 32.
Love, courage, truth. Glenn Beck.
Hi there, it's Doc Thompson in for Glenn Beck today, regularly heard on the Blaze Radio Network with Chris Cruz and Cal, who's spinning the dials radio style for us this morning. Thanks so much for joining us. It's ironic that some people were so upset by violence perpetrated Sunday night in Las Vegas that they called for violence in response to it. Ironic that many people called out hate by being hateful. These are people that are possibly brain damaged. At very least, they are over-emotional, meaning that they are unable to process and control their emotions. Obviously, we're all emotional. Human beings are emotional people, and emotions are a good thing. But unfortunately, there are some that live among us that are over-emotional, meaning that they are not in control of their emotions. Certainly, there are times in our lives when we are not in control of our emotions. A loved one dies, something tragic happens, and for a moment, for a short while, you become over-emotional. That's all you lead with. You can't think rationally, and you do silly things. Of course, that happens to all of us. But there is a segment of our society that perpetually lives there, that is always in a state of emotional breakdown, that they look around and see the bad that you and I see and are frustrated at times and become so emotional they even become hypocritical. The number of people on social media over the last 24 hours that have called out some people for being hateful and violent and have done that by being hateful and violent.
Is that wrong?
I would say it's wrong, and it's certainly hypocritical.
But it's about the children, Doc.
What about the children, Chris? What about them?
Like, do you want children to die? Do you want people to die?
No, I don't. But there is also common sense legislation, common sense governance, common sense rules, common sense ways that we act in a society that you don't necessarily even need the government involved in. It's just common sense stuff. And when you are over emotional, you're clearly not getting that. So I'm going to give you an update on what we know about the despicable murderer in Las Vegas, Stephen Paddock. And then we're going to share some of the communiques that we and other people received, some of the social media posts over the last 24 hours from some of those very caring people on the left. And I'm going to try to help them out.
Okay. That's very good of you.
That's who I am. I think you know that. I am a helper.
Awesome.
You know that.
Thank you.
So first, an update on what happened yesterday. 59 people now dead. The death toll at 59. The number of injured, 527. 527 people injured, 59 dead at the hands of 64-year-old Stephen Paddock, who began shooting Sunday night from the 32nd floor of the Mandalay Bay Hotel. His brother said he was a millionaire and recently even won a $40,000 jackpot. The FBI said there's no apparent tie to international terrorism. 23 guns were found inside the room, including at least one handgun. Some of the guns even had scopes. Thousands of rounds of ammunition still found there. He had a camera mounted in the hotel room to record himself. Now, we've not heard reports if he actually recorded himself, if a video exists. Likely we would never see if it is.
I think that's a big fail. Not showing, if there's a video out there, not showing that video is a big fail.
I think you're right.
Just like they did not release the audio from the Pulse nightclub when he called. They show you just a little bit, but they don't show that he actually stood on the line and you could hear back and forth.
Right. I think that actually helps make the case that this is a problem and we need, to think this through and do some things. I don't think it's insensitive. But he did have a camera mounted in there. Ammonium nitrate was found in his automobile. Ammonium nitrate is a component of some fertilizers. That's what this was, a fertilizer with ammonium nitrate. And that's also what was used partially to take down the federal building in Oklahoma City, the hands of Tim McVeigh. It was ammonium nitrate fertilizer and also kerosene. We don't know how far along he was in a bomb-making process. I think it's fairly safe to say that if you shoot, 600 people, that you probably, if you had ammonium nitrate in your car, you were probably going to use it to create a bomb.
Yes.
It wasn't like, no, I just happen to have ammonium nitrate, but it had nothing to do with that.
I went to the store, Lowe's, and
on my way to kill people.
I forgot to unload that off
fertilizer.
Of the house.
It should have been. I was going to garden tomorrow. I don't think that's what happened. Inside his home in Mesquite, Nevada, about 80 miles from Las Vegas, they found another 18 firearms, several thousand rounds of ammunition, and more explosives. His 62-year-old live-in girlfriend was in Asia at the time. Now, we had heard reports early on Monday morning that she was arrested. She was a person of interest and that they had arrested her. That is not the case. Law enforcement in Las Vegas says if she returns to the United States, they, of course, will have some questions for her. But at this point, they say she was in Asia. We don't know if she had any knowledge of this, but she wasn't there when it happened. Officers, as they approached the hotel room, to investigate what was going on, he opened fire on them. But these were Las Vegas police officers. The officers that broke in and found him dead were SWAT officers.
Team, after
so it was a different team.
Yeah.
Right. So at first he did fire on them. He hit one officer in the leg, but then they backed off, waited for SWAT. In the meantime, he killed himself. SWAT goes in and takes him down. There was some confusion, and Chris and I all yesterday afternoon could not understand why there were two windows out in the hotel. Well, we knew that he was likely shooting out of them because it gave him an advantage.
An advantage, yeah.
But was it two rooms? They were pretty far apart.
Yeah, and then one thing I told you yesterday is I don't want nobody from the FBI to search my computer because it was 3 hours of searching floor plans. So I was Mandela Bay floor plans. 32nd floor corner window.
Yeah, then
and
followed
we were able
up by
to find it. So.
then different types of firearms and ammonium nitrate and Tim McVeigh. Yeah, we're on a bunch of radar screens today.
We triggered.
So we looked it up, and it turns out he had a suite that was at one end of the hotel facing the north end of the strip. So if you were looking out his windows across diagonally at the venue that he fired upon, the window to the left, again, looking out of the hotel, looks north down the strip. And then he had that window that was due east. The venue that he fired on would have been to the northeast of the building. The reason it was two windows, it was either one giant suite with two bedrooms or a connecting room. Now, that's important because I had questions about, okay, if those are two separate rooms, which they even led with in some of the news, did he run down the hall? What was going on?
Then it goes back to, this is a 64-year-old man. Does he have this stamina
to go
run
back and forth and what's going on?
Yeah.
So they were at least connected, and he did set up. They said he broke the glass of the windows, likely with a hammer-like device, which I don't know why you just wouldn't shoot through it, but okay. What is a hammer-like device, Chris?
From what I'm thinking is those tactical hammers that police use when they're trying to break into a window. Mm-hmm. That's what I think. But, I want to give it to this guy. He was trying to be classy.
He didn't just shoot through it? He wasn't a barbarian when he executed 59 people?
No.
Gotcha.
He wanted to go out and then do it the proper way.
Here's the bizarre and strange part of this. Still, we have no motive. What was his motive in this thing? It's really important. What was his motive? While a lot of people are focusing on the method of murder, the guns, and melting down about the method, the how, the why is much more important. The why is more important because that's how we stop future mass murders like this. The how, you're never going to stop every way you can mass murder people. Take away all guns. What about the knives? Take away the knives. What about golf clubs? Take away the golf clubs. What about baseball bats? Take all of those away. What about heavy blunt objects? What about rocks?
What about your
killed
fist?
over. What about your fist? You can pummel someone to death. There are limitless ways you can murder, even on large scales. Remember, the most significant mass murders on American soil took place without guns. 9/11, it was box cutters. Tim McVeigh, it was ammonium nitrate and kerosene. The attack on the school in Bath, Michigan, the most deadly attack on a school in American history, was a bomb. It was not guns. You can murder countless ways. So the how is not really as important as the why. When you get the why, then you can start determining how we change it in the future. What makes somebody do something like this? Why do you do it? This guy, this dirtbag Stephen Paddock, does not fit any of the traditional profiles. None of the obvious. What are the traditional profiles of a mass murderer like this?
Loner.
Brooding loner. Adam Lanza. Sandy Hook, right?
Yep.
The crazy, brooding loner. Everyone knew he had problems. Stole the gun from his mom.
Crazy Eyes.
Oh, Crazy Eyes. James Holmes in Aurora, right? He was a loner and also had the crazy eyes. This guy's not a loner. He had a live-in girlfriend. He got along. He was social. At least
he was a
summer.
millionaire, an alleged millionaire.
Okay, that brings up something else. A lot of these people, especially the ones that are radicalized based on faith from the Middle East, radical Muslims, are people that are radicalized partially because they are poor. They look at poverty in their own and they want to pretend that it's on a great, well, I'm trying to help everybody. It's not fair that some people, what they really mean is it's not fair that I don't have what other people have. This guy may, according to his brother, was a millionaire. So he wasn't that. Young, that's another one.
Yeah.
A lot of the Muslim terrorists, the extremist Muslim, they're young guys. Adam Lanza, James Holmes, young. This guy's 64.
Yeah.
64. That doesn't apply. Crazy. Certifiable. Nope, never been determined. He had a pilot's license, which meant he at least had a review of his mental state in order to get his pilot's license.
Well, not just that. He was able to purchase guns from different gun salesmen, and so how are you able, if you're that crazy,
right?
How are you able to get guns from different dealers?
The people who sold it to him, his family, his friends, anybody who knew him, nobody has come forth and said, oh, yeah, that guy was crazy.
What about this one? Caring. He called his brother to check on his mom.
Check on his mom. How's mom doing? He doesn't fit any of the profiles. So what is going on? What happened? I've come up with a couple of basic thoughts on this as far as motive goes. That unless there's something we don't know, remember the guy who shot up the tower in 1966 in Texas, in Austin? He had a tumor in his head, I think. Had been fairly normal, wrote that he didn't know why he was having these crazy thoughts
and he started
feelings.
Questioning himself.
Right. Outside of something like that, or aliens, or some grand conspiracy theory that he really wasn't responsible, the government did it and just pinned it on him or something. Outside of that, likely the information we've gotten from his brother or others is inaccurate. Maybe he had financial trouble. Maybe he had been... his brother said no rabid political or religious viewpoint. Church, religion, yeah. None of those. Well, maybe his brother didn't know him as well. He was leading a double life or something. Maybe he had fallen on hard times financially. Likely some of the information we've gotten is not accurate. I think he did it for political reasons. Purely my speculation at this point. But we don't know why. I want to get some of your calls on that and tell me, what do you think it is? We'll speculate a little bit. I'm trying to figure out the why. 888-727-BECK. 888-727-BECK if you want to join the program. You can also tweet at Doc Thompson Show or Real Chris Cruz. Yeah, at Real Chris Cruz or Cal79, who's spinning the dials radio style for us. Use the hashtag What I Learned Today and speculate. We're looking for some answers, and until they come up with them, and I haven't heard anything's coming forth with, give me some possibilities so we can investigate a little bit more. With our limited resources, albeit, we can do some investigating. 888-727-BECK. Back in a minute with more. It's Doc Thompson in for Glenn today.
Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck.
Doc Thompson in for Glenn. I appreciate you joining me today. I'm admitting this is speculation. I'm asking you to speculate, not to conflate what is fact. We've laid out the facts. I'm not somebody who likes to twist the facts or omit certain facts to push an agenda like lots of people who have commented on this story. But I want speculation. We're trying to find out what the possible motive for this knucklehead was. The best I've come up with, the closest, is we don't know everything about him, and what we've heard is not accurate. And he was either out of money, and that drove him, or likely politically motivated.
You got people tweeting out what I learned today. You got Tress Burton saying the GOP baseball game shooter was 66, politically driven.
True.
That's what I think now.
True. Although he had some problems.
Yes.
That guy had some problems. But he was older, you're right,
yep.
And politically driven. And certainly politically motivated. I think we're going to find out this guy was more politically motivated than we realized. Chris Cruz and I did some research last night on the venue in Las Vegas.
Yes.
And they do have some other upcoming open-air concerts.
Yeah, you got the EDM concert,
which is
October
electronic
7,
music.
Electronic music. You have other couple of big concerts.
But an Oktoberfest is coming, too.
You got Oktoberfest.
So this guy would have had other opportunities. It's not like he would have had to wait 6 months for another outdoor event to prey on them. A week. The 7th, I think. Yeah,
it was the 7th.
I think something's coming up this weekend. So why did he wait till the end of this 3-day music festival? And he did it in the final hours. How come he didn't set off the bombs or even, rig it in his car? Did he run out of time? Just speculating. 888-727-BECK. Let's go to Georgia now. And John, thanks for holding. Welcome to the program.
Hey, how's it going, Doc?
How you doing? Thank you, sir. Thank you very
Hey,
much.
Not too bad. Hey, I wanted to bring up kind of an odd coincidence. If you watch the video, especially when you're looking straight at the video of Jason Aldean when he's performing, there's an image of two towers in the background that almost mimic the 9/11 two towers. Not to mention the name of the festival is Route 91 Harvest Festival.
Interesting.
Just some weird circumstance. I recommend people go actually look at the videos. I went on Google Maps and looked up the two towers. I cannot figure out what they are. They seem to be on a vacant lot. But
this was not on the video screen. These are just at the venue you're talking about.
Yes, they're actual two large towers in the background. They actually exist. Watch the video. You'll see it. I mean, it's hidden in plain sight. There's an interesting book that people might want to Google. It's called The Most Dangerous Book in the World. It's by an author named S.K. Bain. He kind of touches up on some of these weird circumstances.
Interesting.
That seem to happen over and over again. So,
John, I appreciate that. Yeah, I'll check it out. That is interesting. Thanks so much for the call. Let's go to California now. And Nick, you're on the Glenn Beck program. How are you?
Hey guys, how's it going?
Doing well. We're just speculating. What's this guy's motive?
Well, here's my thought. One of the reasons why I think he had so many guns in his room is because he didn't want to leave them in his car.
Okay.
And we're talking about a 3-day music festival. His room faces the venue. Maybe he didn't know when this thing was going to end. Maybe he's just tired of the noise.
Maybe he's tired of the noise. Come on. Come on. All right.
I'm serious.
But he might be into something because Steven here tweeting and says a motive. Maybe the music was too loud.
No, I'm thinking that's probably not it. Nick, thanks so much for the call. He had 23 guns. This is what I don't understand. I know a lot of these knuckleheads stock up. You're going to do this, and they take 4, 5, 6 guns. 23?
That's a lot. Well, that's a combination between home and...
No. 23 was in the room, another 18 at home.
So, yeah, wow. Yeah.
I don't need those 18, but I need these 23. Like, I even get, as twisted as he is, that he thinks he needed more you'd need more ammo, right? Bring as much ammo to do as much destruction as possible. And even a couple of guns in case you got to run down the hall or your gun jams or something. But why 23? What? Is that just part of the craziness?
Is that a magic number?
I don't know. Well, tell us. 888-727-BECK. More of your calls coming up.
Glenn Beck. This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Please go to my Facebook page. It's facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show. Facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show. I have posted up there a fast facts video. It's just a couple minutes long. We did it a couple of months ago, and it lays out the facts about the Second Amendment. Because unfortunately, that has become the issue. You've got a guy murder somebody and...
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank account, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problems now by calling the experts at Tax Mediation Services
at 800-600-1645. That's 800-600-1645. 800-600-1645.
How he murdered them becomes the issue, with very little concern, apparently, from our friends on the left as to why he murdered. They're only concerned with this one thing. They just lie in wait about this political issue until a tragedy happens, and then they attack politically, making it about the guns. So if you want facts about the Second Amendment, you want some ammunition to defend the Second Amendment, if you want to understand it, why it was written, what the Founding Fathers thought, it's a short little video, the fast facts, laid out for you. Just go to the Facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show, and it's pinned to the top. Please share it if you would as well. It's really well done. Even the verbiage of the Second Amendment is discussed, that we lay out that it's not the first part of it, the first clause, does not offer a limitation to the powers to own, to keep and bear arms. It's offering one reason why they say we need to make sure people can keep and bear arms. All at the Facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show. Please go there. Tweets are coming in. It's at Doc Thompson Show, at Real Chris Cruz, and at Cal79.
Susan E., you asking for people to kind of speculate what happened.
What's his motive? So Susan E. saying, Doc Thompson, could this be a shooter/murderer being possessed like with demons? Spiritual warfare is real. She's right. I usually hesitate to bring that up because, unfortunately, in today's world, you sound crazy. I'm not so sure that some crazy people wouldn't be actually just possessed. It could be anything like that.
You got Mick Fisher also tweeting about, Doc, I haven't listened to your show in a while. Your sidekick is really bad. Glenn out again? Sorry, Doc. Get out now.
Does that mean you?
I don't know. Is it me out? You out?
Sidekick. Wow, I think he's giving you too much credit there, too.
Yeah.
Wow.
When did I get this promotion to sidekick?
I don't know. Chris is just kind of a hanger-on.
Yeah.
We're speculating because it's odd at this point that we don't have more of a motivation, too. Almost always when it comes to one of these type of attacks, these mass murders, we know pretty quick what the motive is. Even if they don't confirm it right away, within hours, we have a pretty good guess that is almost always confirmed. But at this point, we don't. All right, let's go to the phones now. Let's go to Mississippi. And Ryan, you're on the Glenn Beck program. Hey, Ryan. All right. Move over this way just a second. There you go. Sharon in Mississippi. How are you?
Good morning, Doc. I have an idea. I saw a clip of where he had fallen in the hall of the Mandalay Bay.
Yes.
And he tried to sue them, and he lost. I'm thinking he might not still be a millionaire. He might have been expecting to win that lawsuit. Mm-hmm. And when it didn't go through, that was, it wasn't going to work out. He may have just told his family and his girlfriend, and then he had won that $40,000. That's probably, I would think they gave him that suite and probably a lot of gambling chips as compensation.
I think you might be onto something, but you're just a touch off on your facts. You got it kind of right. He actually was trying to sue the Cosmopolitan Hotel, which is just down the street.
Uh-huh.
So he wasn't trying to sue the Mandalay. That ended up, he had slipped on what was described as some sort of liquid on the floor. He tried to sue for compensation for his medical bills or whatever, and it ended up being thrown out, I think, in 2014.
Mm-hmm.
So,
right, they had reported it was the Mandalay Bay, so they probably got that wrong, which would make it, seem more likely. But, I'm also thinking he probably has a problem with the election.
Do you think this could be motivated politically?
Oh, yeah, I think Trump probably just sent him over the edge.
Maybe. Could be.
I mean,
Sharon, we've seen a lot of people that are crazy about that, yeah.
It's a possibility because, you know, a lot of people recognized right off the bat that was probably a lot of conservative people at that concert.
Well, and Sharon, thanks so much for the call. That's the reason I brought up that there are other concerts out there. If this guy was trying to, I mean, he waited till the end. Was he just trying to get it done before the concert ended, ran out of time because he was planning on doing something more significant, what with the fertilizer in his car? But he wanted to get it before that crowd left. Again, this is just speculation, but it would work. It would make sense. In Florida now, Trey, you're on the Glenn Beck program. Thanks for holding.
How you doing, boss?
Doing well, sir.
Well, yeah, I mean, basically, I'd like to start off by saying I am a country singer. So, I mean, this kind of hits home in the country music community. First, I would like to speculate as to say that, again, piggybacking on what Sharon in Mississippi just said, that this country music is predominantly conservative. So, I mean, I'm kind of looking at the shooting that happened with the, the Republican senators, I believe?
Yeah, they were playing ball. Ago. Yeah.
Right. I mean, to me, the timing of this is kind of, it almost seems like a copycat type of thing, especially since right now we don't really have a modem. We know that he was, or a motive. We know that he was wealthy. So, I mean, that's not really a thing. But I really would speculate as to say that it was more of a political thing. So that's my speculation. Also, being a country music singer, I actually have a show coming up this Saturday, and I wanted to know, me and my band are actually planning to donate our check to a fund for the victims, and I was wondering if you had any suggestions on a good fund to give it to.
You can always, a couple of favorite charities we have that's just in general, and I'm not sure specifically what they're doing, each one is doing for these families. I got to believe Mercury One probably has something up. It's mercuryone.org. Probably not Matthew 25, but these are both respected charities that I know give almost everything they take in. They have very low administrative costs. Matthew 25 usually does disaster victims and, helps people around the world, but it's always a good charity. And that's M25M.org. It's Matthew 25 Ministries. But tell me when and where your concert is so we can give you a little plug here.
Oh, yeah, appreciate it. We're actually opening up for Craig Campbell this Saturday night at the Ranch in Fort Myers.
Okay.
It's actually my second time opening up for him, so pretty excited about that. Find us on Facebook at Trey Colton.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll mention it again. This is Saturday night in Fort Myers. My buddy, I guess, sidekick, Chris Cruz. Will
get it right.
If you get in contact with him, we'll also give you a little plug in the morning show tomorrow as well, okay?
Hey, I appreciate it, man. Like I said, our check is going right to the victims. I mean, I'm going to donate it as soon as we get it. So.
Also, by the way, before when you listen to this again, the city set up a GoFundMe page.
The city of Las Vegas.
Yes.
Okay, so that would be a good place.
So
then.
just Google the GoFundMe page. Make sure they already verified it.
Okay, good.
And verified through GoFundMe. But there's already a GoFundMe page set up for them.
Can we tweet out a link to it?
Yes, I'll find it and we'll tweet out a link to it.
All right, I'll tweet it on my page. Trey, thanks so much for listening. Really appreciate it. It's ironic that so many people over the last 24 hours were upset by violence, but their social media posts were violent. And I'm not just talking about the Antifa type crowd. Of course they were. These people were just outright good. We got country music people died. They were likely conservatives, right-wing, Republicans. Glad they died. Hope more die. This was the attitude from a lot of people. But even some, I guess what we would consider more sane people, albeit celebrities and leftists or progressives, but still talking about hate and being hateful, tweeting hateful things. So many ironic and hypocritical social media posts that they don't even get, which leads me to believe, Chris, that they are brain damaged.
Brain damage?
I think they've got something wrong. Now, some people are just more emotional. But some of these people have taken it to a level where they don't even get the irony of being hateful while calling out hate. They don't get the irony of calling out violence and threatening violence in the same social media post. They don't even get it. You've got to be brain damaged. You've got to have something seriously wrong with you if you don't get that. Certainly in the middle of the tragedy as it's still unfolding. And you're so outraged at the violence that you want to perpetrate more violence. You're so outraged at the hate and the insensitivity that you are hateful and insensitive. you've got to have something wrong with you. So I've decided maybe we'll help him out.
Good. That's good.
Have you ever been to therapy, Chris Cruz?
Well, I do have.
Are those records sealed?
I do have PTSD, so yes, I've been.
What do you have that from?
The war. Kind of bomb landed right behind me.
Serving your country. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, if you've ever been to therapy, a lot of times they'll talk with about governing your emotions. You talk with a therapist, and they'll give you like a little chart of emotions.
Oh, I've seen that shot.
You ever seen it?
Yeah, with like a little emojis.
Yeah, they're like emojis. They're smiley faces.
Yeah.
They'll say, "How do I feel today? How do you feel today?" And they have happy, sad, and they do them different, whatever, to help you. Start becoming closer with your emotions so you can identify them more quickly, right? So that's what I think we're going to do. We're going to go through a bunch of tweets from some of these celebrities, some of these politicians, and we're going to help them identify how they feel.
Okay.
Because I don't think they're necessarily being accurate. I don't think they know. I think they're so brain damaged, Chris, they're lashing out. And I, Doc Thompson, am going to help them get in touch with their emotions by identifying those emotions.
Okay.
We will share those tweets and help those people coming up next on the Glenn Beck program.
Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck.
Doc Thompson in for Glenn. We're going to go down the list of some of the reaction from celebrities to the attack, the murderous rampage in Las Vegas, and try to help them come into contact or understand their emotions a little bit better. Now, a lot of these you're going to think it's just anger, them lashing out, but I think there's something more to it. So I have lists of adjectives to describe emotions, and we'll try to apply them here. So first, Joe Biden, for example. Joe Biden tweets out a couple of things.
Okay.
Appalled by the senseless loss of life in Las Vegas, Jill and I hold all of those affected and grieving in our hearts. How long do we let gun violence tear families apart? Enough. Congress and the White House should act now to save lives. There's no excuse for inaction. Obviously angry.
Very angry.
But see, I think there's more to it.
Okay.
I think he's also feeling irrelevant. Unimportant, unemployed. Me, I'm just trying to help, Chris.
I didn't think this was going to go this way. I thought you were going to actually be helping them.
I am helping them.
You could have felt those things about 4 years ago.
Okay, there goes Cal.
See, well, no, Cal recognizes Joe is probably, feeling a little lost, like a little irrelevant, and he has to lash out. See, I'm helping Chris. Michael Bloomberg, former mayor, resolved to stop mass shootings in America and back up our words with actions. Feeling very controlling.
Very.
And also irrelevant. Okay, Tom Arnold, for example. I
thought you were doing celebrities.
Oh, that's a good point.
Talk about irrelevant.
Yeah. Tom Arnold. So I was doing celebrities. You're right. Guy? That's isn't he the guy who got famous for diddling Roseanne Barr?
Whoa. Can you say that on TV?
Diddling, playing,
The flute?
The flute, exactly.
Oh, okay.
Little games, That means board game, right?
Yes.
In Spanish?
Yes.
Play a board? Tom Arnold tweeting, Stephen Paddock is a terrorist. Trump signed a bill allowing mentally ill easier access to guns. NRA will sell more guns. Hashtag gun control now. Dogmatic. Power hungry, maybe. How do you think he's feeling, Chris?
I think he's feeling
triggered.
Very triggered. Snowflakey.
Is that inappropriate? Snowflake-esque?
Yeah.
Something like that. Sean King tweeting out, only in America can whiteness prevent the man who conducted the deadliest mass shooting in American history from being called a terrorist.
Sean King.
Head of BL, the guy who started or early founder.
You mean the white
BLM?
guy? White guy?
The guy who is white, partially white,
But he identifies as black man.
Black, right. He's part black, part.
Okay.
He's more black than Rachel Dolezal. So I think today he's feeling more black.
Because
only whiteness.
Yeah.
Clearly, he's not identifying with his white self today.
Has he disowned his white side because he is white?
Maybe. Could be. Andy Cohen
Again.
I don't know who that is either.
Yeah.
But he's a verified account, and he's one of these Hollywood types. Here's what he tweeted. Very simple.
Okay.
And I'm going to help you get into touch.
Okay.
How about we ban machine guns? How about that, Chris? How about we ban machine guns?
They're already banned.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Thank you, Cal.
They're already banned. Oh, that 1930 law. The law that's almost 100 years old. Okay, so I'm guessing he's feeling stupid. I'm just saying, ignorant, embarrassed. If he's not, he should be. It's been about 100 years since they've been banned, just so you know. Meaningless, something like that. Yeah, he should be. Andy, you should be. Now, he followed these up when other people were like, also 1980 law.
Oh,
that
okay.
banned
So you
them
try
as
to clean
well.
it up?
No, that's what other people like try to tell him. 1930 law, 1980s law. And he was like, yeah, I'm just saying that's my reaction when I hear about that we should ban them.
So, idiotic.
Yes. Spin. Like a spin master,
loser?
something like this. Loser, that would work as well.
Dummy.
Again, just trying to help these people understand. If you want solutions, we've got solutions for you coming up as well from Vicente Fox of Mexico.
Glenn Beck. Love. Courage. Truth. Glenn Beck.
I'm giving the benefit of the doubt to my fellow Americans who are entertainers and celebrities, and because of that, over-emotional, and realize they probably need a little bit of help based on their social media comments and also just interviews that they gave about the murder that happened Sunday night in Las Vegas. Now 59 people dead, 527 injured at the hands of Stephen Paddock. They seem to need a little bit of help getting to the heart of what they're really feeling. So we're going through some of their comments and trying to help them out, get to the center of who they really are and what they're feeling. And we have a bunch more to get to. Two in a row that I think are likely feeling the same thing.
Okay.
Khloe Kardashian.
Which one is that one?
Who cares?
Okay.
Khloe tweeted, "This is heartbreaking to learn about. Things have got to change." And then Paris Jackson, Michael Jackson's daughter,
okay,
tweeting, "Heart goes out to everyone affected by the shooting in Vegas, friends and family, strangers included. Breaks my heart to see Earth like this." So I'm thinking they're kind of in the same unneeded. Okay, wait, that's what I'm feeling about them, that they're unneeded. Okay. Everybody on Earth, is he a little cray?
Brainless. How about brainless?
Brainless. I like that. That's good. Nancy Pelosi tweeting at Speaker Ryan.
Oh.
Yeah. She's tweeting at Paul Ryan. At Speaker Ryan. "It's time for action. Congress must create a select committee on gun violence." I think she's feeling futile and pointless.
Dopey?
Because I would think that anybody that's been in Las Vegas, been in D.C. more than a week as an elected servant would recognize that select committees, blue ribbon commissions, and panels are merely window dressing.
They work, right?
No. This is what you do when you want to seem like you're doing something, but you're not actually doing something. What you do is you go, "I have decided we are going to get to the bottom of this, and I am appointing a blue ribbon commission." Ooh. It's not just a commission or a committee. It's a blue ribbon one.
Ribbon.
Whatever that means.
Yeah.
So, yeah, she wants a select committee on gun violence. But by the way, we've never discussed gun violence in Congress. Never happened.
Are you sure?
Apparently, we've never done it. Never had a select committee on gun violence. Ever. It's never happened in D.C. history. Now, there was a vice president of CBS who, within hours of this tragic event, Sunday night, posted on Facebook, "If they wouldn't do anything when children were murdered, I have no hope that Repubs will ever do the right thing. I'm actually not even sympathetic because country music fans are our Republican gun toters." So she's not sympathetic to the people that died.
No.
I don't think she needs a clarification on this one. I think she knows exactly how she feels.
Yeah.
Unsympathetic.
Very.
And heinous. Now, shockingly, CBS, which is run by progressives primarily, actually fired this woman. Good for you, CBS. I mean, I wouldn't call for her to be fired, but is this who you want representing your company?
Yeah.
Someone who has no sympathy for people who were murdered.
Especially with that title, vice president.
She was a vice president of their company. CBS spoke, and again, they did this within hours. I mean, it was done. CBS spokesperson said she violated the standards of our company and is no longer an employee. Her views, as expressed on social media, are deeply unacceptable to all of us at CBS. Our hearts go out to the victims and their families.
You remember those days?
I'm going to give credit where it's due. CBS, you did good. Nicely done.
Remember those days when a tragedy happened and all we did was link arms and say, Doc, we're going to get through this.
Yep.
It's going to be okay.
Going to be all right.
All you're going to do, you just got to just push forward.
We'll get through
keep
it.
on.
Together.
Together, we're going to fight against this darkness.
Oh, those are long gone.
What happened to that?
Those are long gone. Joy Reid from MSNBC.
Oh, I celebrate her entire catalog.
Several tweets. She had a whole catalog of them.
Oh, she did?
Yeah. She's tweeted out, what we face in America, a handful of greedy libertarian billionaires in full control of the party in power, determined to privatize all. That's the first one.
Oh, okay.
Joy, you should be feeling misguided, misinformed, because greedy libertarian billionaires are not in charge of the Republican Party. I wish greedy libertarian billionaires were in charge of the party. I pray for the day that greedy libertarian billionaires would be in charge of the party. Who's in charge of the party are a bunch of progressives. A bunch of cronies. Not capitalists, not free market people, but cronies. I wish they were. Like, wow. She went on to explain the Kochs, the Merkers, the Bradley Foundation, and on and on. They want to repeal the entire 20th century social infrastructure, privatize all, and take the spoils, not unlike what the oligarchs did in Russia. They see spectacular wealth at the end of the Republican rainbow.
Wait, what? Republican rainbow?
I don't know.
What does that mean?
I don't know, Joy. I wish you were right. I wish you would talk to the party. Can I now sign on to the Joy Reid platform? Here's the thing. Yes, they do want to privatize all or most. Libertarians, I do as well. Here's the thing, though. If the party is in power, the party she's talking about is in power, as it is. Clear majority in the House, slight majority in the Senate, and the White House. And they're in charge of this, and they have billions, and they're pulling the strings. How come they haven't at least repealed Obamacare? Wouldn't that be privatizing? Seriously. What are you talking about? She works at MSNBC and she thinks libertarian billionaires are running the party. What the hell is the matter with her? All right. Couple more to get to here. Nelba Green.
Oh, again, another one.
Well, she's actually, you wouldn't know the name, and she's not a celebrity, but she's noteworthy in that she is, and I feel horrible for her, a Newtown mother.
Oh, okay.
She lost her child at Newtown. Her child was murdered.
Sad. Yeah.
Very sad. But she had some odd thoughts, and I'm not sure she really knows what she's feeling. She went on a tirade, and this is what she said. Every day I am stunned by the level of trauma, direct or vicarious, Congress is willing to make us suffer through. Their lack of courage and or ability to make meaningful action on issues that matter most, healthcare, violence, climate, etc., is outrageous. She's talking about the murders in Las Vegas.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
Meaningful action on the issues that matter most. healthcare, violence, climate is outrageous. She's talking about the murders in Vegas.
I'm trying to connect the dots. That's why I'm
it's
silent.
a little bit of a stretch there.
Yeah, I'm
the only
trying to
dots
connect
are
the
Congress doesn't get anything done. But okay. As a mom who had to bury a child, I care less about perp color.
Okay.
Good. I don't care about the perp's color. I want to know their motivation.
It's not about colors, about
their
why
motivation.
they did it.
Right. Mm-hmm. So as a mom who had to bury a child, I care less about perp color. But how come we never talk about angry white men with guns?
Okay.
So you know what that sounds like?
That she cares about
the perp's color. That's what she said. You absolutely care about the perp's color. You hear about angry white men all the time.
There's one right in front of me right now.
White. Okay, I am white and I'm kind of angry right at this second or whatever. So she seems a little off on this.
Yeah,
she said,
and I can see her point of view. This is kind of raw emotions. Her child was killed in some.
And I get that.
And I get that. But when you're trying to combine climate change and the other thing that she said to a shooting that happened in Las Vegas
and angry white men,
you lose a little bit of credibility.
You lose a lot. And this is the standard. Hey, I don't want to be racist, but let me say something racist now. Chris, I don't want to say you're overweight. But let me tell you how overweight you are. Right? That's what the shortened version of this is I was just saying.
Yeah.
Wow, are you fat? What? No, I was just saying.
Yeah.
Oh, you were just saying? Yeah, I was just saying. Oh, well, that's okay. Sure. How is that? That's the southern version of this is bless your heart.
Exactly. Yeah. And from her perspective, she should be she probably is the closest one to come to feeling what other families are feeling right now.
Right. And yet she still went to climate change and white
She should be out there saying, you know what? Doc, I know you lost your loved one.
Let me help.
This is what I did.
There it is.
Coping. I don't be like, wow, good job. But climate change and whatever the other thing she said.
Right. I even understand anger and frustration at this. But to bring up climate change and white perp, she went on to say, I will also say this. I lost Anna in Newtown, which means even though we aren't white, I had the sympathy of the world.
I thought she didn't care about color.
Even though I lost Anna at Newtown, I can't imagine as a parent losing a child and then ever starting it. It would always follow with, I lost a child and something. We had the sympathy of the world and we're not white?
Yeah.
Then she said, guess what, folks? Gun violence and grief hurt in every zip code, in every color. Grieving mothers need your help.
Okay.
What about grieving fathers? Uncles.
Grandparents?
Siblings,
brothers,
neighbors, friends, close friends, something like this. Only grieving mothers need your help.
Again, pushing on something about female.
And this is the over-emotional part I'm talking about.
Okay.
She is understandably so upset having lost a child. I don't think it's something you ever get over.
No.
You're a father.
I am.
I'm a father. Cal, you're a father. I can't imagine ever getting over this. So I understand. But don't dismiss the fact that this is all coming from a very self-focused point of view.
Yes.
Not that there's anything wrong with it. You lost a child. But let's call it like it is. Let's be truthful. She is lashing out because of her feelings. And as I started this whole thing, these are over-emotional people. These are not people that are going to help us charter a way forward to come up with good solutions, good policies and laws for America. These are people that are lashing out because they cannot control their emotion. Another example of that with one of our late-night talk show hosts and also a former president of Mexico coming up next on the Glenn Beck program.
Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck.
Doc Thompson, Chris Cruz, and Cal in for Glenn today. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll get some more calls, 888-727-BECK. We're just looking for some speculation earlier about the motivation of the Las Vegas murderer. I mean, yeah, he's a shooter, but he's also a murderer. Maybe that's more accurate. And also tweets coming in with the hashtag What I Learned Today. If you would, please follow me on Twitter. It's hashtag What I Learned Today. And don't forget on Facebook, you can post comments, but you can also check out the video, the Fast Facts video on the Second Amendment at facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show. Tweets now.
You got Patrick tweeting out What I Learned Today, Doc. It sounds like you're advocating that people should only own one gun. Why does the number he owned matter?
Oh, okay. Yes, if I led you to believe that, then I did not do my...
You failed.
I failed.
You
I
failed
was a
the
fail.
audience.
I did fail you there.
I'll make sure Glenn Beck gets this audio.
Yes. The fact that he had 23 guns in the room is only curious to me as to what his motives were. I just want to know what his motive... I'm ultimately trying to figure out his motives. So why would you have 23 guns? What were you going to do with them? Obviously, he had nefarious intentions in mind. The fact that he murdered 59 people and shot 527 others, injuring them. So why would you have 23 other guns? What else was he going to do? And he had 18 guns at his home. I don't care if he has 1,000 guns. I honestly, given no Second Amendment or to the other extreme, if I have to take one or the other, you should be able to own a nuclear device.
Yeah.
You should be able to own 17. That's how extreme I am about personal freedom. So number of guns, I have failed you if I led you to believe I am concerned about the number he had or why that was an issue in the room. I only use that as a question about his motives and what they were. That's it.
You also have Kristen tweeting out what I learned today. I guess Chris Cruz is the new Jeffy. #fat.
He's not nearly as honorable as Jeffy and has many more questionable things in his past than Jeffy.
Wait.
Let's go to Bill in South Carolina now. Bill, welcome to the Glenn Beck program. You're on the air.
Hey, Doc, God bless you, and thank you so much for posting that Second Amendment. That's
Thank you, sir. I'm glad you enjoyed it.
Hey, well, as a son of the American Revolution, a former sergeant of Marines, I and my family have fought to first create those rights and then keep them ever since. So
thank you, sir.
We appreciate it. You're welcome. I just, speculation, I'm so glad you're doing that. My first impulse was this wife, initially, I guess, or girlfriend who left the country. Mm-hmm. And that I said to my friend yesterday, I bet she cleaned him out. He went downtown to gamble it back with what little he had left. He brought 23 of his best weapons, probably valued anywhere from $2,000 to $10,000, especially if they were automatics, to sell. That would be like $100,000 worth of weapons. And when the gambling failed and the sale fell through, he decided to leave a mark before he committed suicide. That's my take on it.
Bill, thank you so much for the call. Yeah, I money loss could be a trigger in this. It could be. Cal, as a married man, would it shock you to find out that there was a woman involved or to blame? A trigger?
A woman to drive a man to go crazy and...
yeah, would that shock you as a married man?
Wouldn't shock me, no.
Okay,
would not be shocked.
Don't say anything else. Don't say anything else. In Georgia now, we've got Jason. You're on the Glenn Beck program.
Hey, you guys. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you,
for having me on. Some people always look for the most grandiose type of excuse. Was it political driven,
Sure.
religious, this or that? Sometimes people just get a bad thought and they obsess over it. And, everybody has a little bit of a dark side, and this guy just let his dark side take over. I think it's just as simple as he wanted to do it. He had the means, he had the opportunity, and, I don't think the crowd, I've heard people say that, he was targeting conservatives. I think that was just coincidental. He had a large group of people that he wanted to terrorize, murder, mow down, and that's all there was to it.
Jason, you might be right. There's a lot of people do this as a twisted form of fame, too. That could play into it.
Well, there could be the fame thing, but I think that if he was narcissistic like that, he would have been taken alive, or he would have left some kind of message. He could have posted it live on Facebook or something like that. That shooter from a couple of years ago who shot up the movie theater, he was taken
James
alive.
Holmes.
He wanted to be some supervillain and get his 15 minutes of fame. I don't think that's where this guy was. I think he just simply snapped. He's decided one day, I'm going to kill as many people as I possibly can, and that's what he set out to do, and that's what he did.
Jason, thanks for the call. You could be right about the narcissism. If you were narcissistic in this, wouldn't you want to bask in the aftermath of what you've done, what you've created? I'm serious. I mean, if you were driven to do something this horrible because you got some sort of thrill, he missed out on the thrill part. From that twisted perspective, think about it.
Yeah.
Look at what the media was yesterday. 59 people. The carnage in the streets of Vegas. The stories like that.
Because he had the TV on. he had to have the TV on to see what was happening.
But as this rolled out, by the time he killed himself, he had no idea how many he'd killed.
True.
None. He sprayed bullets in there, and by the time we got on the air yesterday morning, when this first was breaking, just a couple of hours old, there was only 2 reported dead. A few minutes after we were on the air, we found out it was up to 20 at that point, and it just kept growing throughout the day. More on this and also your calls coming up, 888-727-BECK. Don't forget to tweet at the program and follow at Doc Thompson Show. Use the hashtag What I Learned Today. It's Doc Thompson from the Morning Blaze in for Glenn Beck today.
Glenn Beck.
Hi, I'm George Foreman. Do you have an idea for a new product or invention? People ask me all the time, George, how do I get my idea in front of companies? How do I get a patent? What do I do next? Do you have the same questions? I'll tell you like I'll tell them all. Call my friends at InventHelp.
Call InventHelp today for free information. InventHelp can submit your invention to companies who are interested in receiving new ideas.
To get your free inventor's information, call 1-800-359-4704. That's 1-800-359-4704.
This is the Glenn Beck Program.
Doc Thompson in for Glenn Beck, and we're all about solutions. Not just bitching about problems, we're offering you solutions. And you know who else is offering you solutions? Vicente Fox, the former president of Mexico.
Oh.
Solutions.
Good.
While we were running around yesterday upset at what would transpired in Las Vegas, now with 59 people dead, 527 injured, Vicente Fox of Mexico took to Twitter.
Good.
To help America.
Good.
Yes. And he offered this tweet. Hashtag gun control is a topic that must be dealt with ASAP.
Okay.
American people must not be looking over their shoulder for their countrymen.
Okay.
Excellent job. Vicente Fox of Mexico offering us help with our country.
Unless I'm mistaken.
Yeah.
Mexico has some violence.
I'm sorry, what's that?
Problems.
They have what?
Cartels.
Mexico?
Federales.
Really?
I mean, last time I remember reading they don't they decapitate people.
Okay,
the cartels.
Sure. It's
hanging
a violent place.
Bridges.
It's been rated recently the second deadliest country in the world, worse than Afghanistan and Yemen. But it's
you know
not
you're bad when the Afghanis are like, at least we're not Mexico.
It's horrible here, but damn, we're not Mexico. Have you seen that place?
Hey, and I've been to Afghanistan, so
you've been to Afghanistan?
I've been to Afghanistan. Not to the Mexico. I would never
go there though. That's not good.
But I'll take my my Afghani trip.
So a guy who used to run a country that has been rated the second deadliest in the world. So does he think America's number one?
Probably.
It's the first deadliest? Is that what he's thinking? Okay. So the citizens of Mexico are willing to risk their life walking across the desert with no water to come to this country, but he thinks this country's worse.
Kind of perspective on that.
That seems a little off. We need to be more like Mexico, in other words, according to Vicente Fox.
Órale, güey. You need to be like us, man.
You need to be, we need to be more like Mexico, because that's worked so far so well for Mexico. It's worked out pretty well for Mexico being like Mexico. Okay. See, Mexican citizens actually have the right to own guns.
I didn't know that.
They absolutely do.
That's good for them.
However, the state has put so many additional restrictions on them that nobody legally owns guns. Very few people do. The price, the permits you have to get, the rules and restrictions. So what they do is they go, no, you can own guns, sure, as long as you meet all of these criteria. The only people that have guns are the criminals. That's it.
And the federales.
And the federales, who are also criminals. Yeah, you're being redundant there, right. Isn't this really what they keep telling us about the Second Amendment here? You hear the people like Nancy Pelosi and the Chuck Schumers and the Tim Kaines and people like that come out and they go, no, I absolutely support the Second Amendment. Absolutely. We just need common sense gun laws. I'm not trying to take guns away. It's common sense gun laws, much like the ones they have in Mexico. Vicente Fox is advocating gun control for America. How has that worked for Mexico? The second deadliest country in the world, according to a recent survey, and lots of those people murdered with guns.
I think that right there, just stop and focus on that for a second. Mexico is more deadly than Afghanistan,
yes,
where the Taliban is,
yes,
and Iraq,
yes,
where ISIS is. Mexico's more deadly than that,
right?
But he says we should take care of our gun
yes. Although, wait a minute. He said the American people must not be looking over their shoulder for their countrymen. That's the reason he's advocating gun control. Maybe he thinks we should be looking over our shoulder for somebody other than countrymen. And with gun control, who would that be? The government. Vicente, I'm going to take back some of the things I've said about you. Now I understand. You just want gun control for the people of America, not the government. So we would just look over our shoulder for the government like you do in Mexico. Although, to be fair, they look over their shoulder for countrymen and government in Mexico. So
it's really interesting to see the former president of Mexico, the one that has a love interest for our president, that tweets.
Oh, he's got Trump derangement syndrome.
Get his advice. I'll be okay if it was like a successful president saying, hey, this is what I did for my country, and I was able to, bring down crime.
Look how great we are.
Look how great. But this is the guy that has cartel people running around, chopping people's head off,
right,
and put them on stick.
The arrogance to tell any other country how it's done.
I'm like, okay, not even ISIS. ISIS is like, whoa, what is going on here?
Right. ISIS is more consistent. They're more successful. They're more successful at running their group of people.
Yeah.
Think about this. Vicente Fox couldn't even clean up the government of Mexico. Forget about all other gun violence on the street. He couldn't even clean up the federales and the various state police organizations from committing crimes.
Which, by the way, is part of his government. So that's like,
right.
That's like saying, hey, these people work for me. I need you guys to control your act. No, seriously, I mean it, guys. I need you to control your act.
This is like you owning a restaurant with horrible food and going to another restaurant and going, okay, this food sucks. A food that is actually pretty good, and saying, let me tell you how it's done.
I've done this before.
I've done this. I own a restaurant. My food is horrible, but let me tell you how it's done.
So is it because of the title Presidente that he thinks that he is all wise and...
Oh, he's out of his gourd, of course. And I see this all the time from different countries. People love to tell America how to do things. I see this especially with gun control. All the crazy people out of the UK. Just go on Twitter and social media sites. You'll see all kinds of people in the UK going, I can't believe America, ... Here's how you have to do it. And they cite a bunch of gun laws in the UK, how successful they've been at bringing down gun crime. But they never talk about the increase in knife crime. They love to talk about that in Australia, too. We banned guns after there was a mass attack years ago, and look, there's no gun crime, which, by the way, isn't accurate. It's the way the statistics are kept. But they also don't tell you about the increase in knife crime. They don't bring that up at all.
Didn't you say earlier today that there's a knife buyback program?
In the UK, and you can look it up yourself. Look up knife buyback, knife
and
drop
Cal
boxes.
brought the website, too.
Yeah, there's all kinds of sources. In the UK, they have such a knife and stabbing problem that they have boxes set up in areas, like around London and bigger cities, that are like, think of like mailboxes that we used to have, the blue ones.
Surrenderyourknife.co.uk.
We'll tweet out a link to it, too. They're like our old blue mailboxes in your community at the end of your street. And, you just put mail in and it's kind of secure. They're like that. They have a little door and you can just drop your knife in. Because they have knife crimes. It's like a gun buyback program.
Do you get money or do you just drop it there?
No, to get knives off the street because those inanimate objects are killing people. This is the craziness. And those knuckleheads don't go, Maybe it's not the object. Maybe it's the desire. Maybe it's the motivation to kill people. They don't even get that. All right, tweets coming in. Hashtag what I learned today. Z tweeting. If we were more like Mexico, maybe the illegals would be crossing back across the border. Huh. Yeah, I think you're right.
You got Marathon tweeting out what I learned today. Sounds like Vicente has a good reason to pay for that wall now. That's a good one.
Vicente, build the wall. Keep the guns from coming to Mexico.
I will pay that wall now. Here's a check.
You know what he doesn't realize? Those guns are never going to Mexico now that Obama's not in office.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's right. We don't.
That's a good one.
Obama's gone.
That's a good one.
You don't have to worry about guns coming across the border. Yeah, Obama's out of office. We're not running guns anymore. All right, tweets coming in. It's at Doc Thompson Show. Please follow me there. Let's see here. Kara tweeting. If the gun is the criminal, why arrest, try to imprison, or execute the shooter? If the gun is the problem, why is James Holmes in prison?
True.
If the gun is the problem, why is Dylan Roof in prison? If the gun did it, if the gun is the problem, why are you imprisoning the perp? It's not their fault. It was the gun's fault. And if you're saying they need to be imprisoned, if you agree that James Holmes and or Dylan Roof and some of these other cats should be punished and in prison, then you're admitting they are culpable in this. And if you're admitting their culpability in this, then you must admit it is not the object, the way in which they murdered, but the fact that they murdered. More coming up next on the Glenn Beck program.
Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck.
Doc Thompson in for Glenn today. Please follow me on Twitter at Doc Thompson Show. Getting now to yet another celebrity who commented. I don't know why Jimmy Kimmel feels that he needs to be the moral arbiter of America as simply a late-night talk show. He mentioned last night that he just wants to come in and joke about the news or whatever.
You can still do that.
He can still do that.
Yeah.
But he keeps diving into these political issues because he's pushing an agenda. I share with you now a clip of Jimmy Kimmel's show last night, and we'll stop it a couple of times to show you some of the, or at least highlight some of the failures. Here we go.
And last night, the White House Press Secretary Sarah Sanders said this is not the time, or actually it was today, this morning, she said it was not the time for political debate. And I don't know, we have 59 innocent people dead. It wasn't their time either. So I think now is the time for political debate.
I'm going to hold that flag in the play. I'm going to have to stop that a moment. Sorry. If President Trump, in the middle of the carnage, as they were still taking people to the hospital, getting body counts yesterday morning, if President Trump had come out and said, hey, this is why it's so important to repeal Obamacare, because we need better health services in America and people need better access. This shows as all these people are going to, what would they have done?
Yeah.
They would have melted the hell down.
Mm-hmm.
If he had come out and said, more guns on the street are going to protect these people, something even closer related, they would have, how dare you politicize this tragedy, they would have said. But it's okay for them? You're a hypocrite, Jim. Here we go.
President Trump is visiting Las Vegas on Wednesday. He spoke this morning. He said he's praying for those who lost their lives. You know, in February, he also signed a bill that made it easier for people with severe mental illness to buy guns legally. The Senate Majority Leader, Mitch McConnell, the Speaker of the House, Paul Ryan, a number of other lawmakers who won't do anything about this because the NRA has their balls in a money clip, also sent their thoughts and their prayers today.
Hold on a second. You're only calling out the NRA for being a controlling lobby?
There's a lot of controlling lobbying in D.C.
Yeah, and you're only calling out McConnell and Paul Ryan? Oh, yeah, they're in the tank for lobbyists. Of course they are. So is everybody else. And you may not like the NRA. You may hate them. But the NRA is at least an organization that is lobbying on the behalf of one thing. protecting one of our God-granted and constitutionally protected rights. Whereas half of the dirtbags that you support, Jimmy Kimmel, half of the people like the Clintons and the Bernie Sanderses and the other dirtbags on Capitol Hill are in the pocket of lobbyists who are lobbying on behalf of themselves or a company pouring more money back into their pockets. The NRA is charged with the task of defending a constitutional amendment. It's not for the money. They're not building up a big war chest to spend on themselves, to pour into their own pockets, to get rich. It's to protect an amendment. Here we go, a little more.
Which is good. They should be praying. They should be praying for God to forgive them for letting the gun lobby run this country, because it is it's so crazy. Right now, there are loopholes in the law that let people avoid background checks if they buy a gun privately from another party, if they buy a gun online or at a gun show. So I want to show you something. These are the faces of the senators who, days after the shooting in Orlando...
Okay, so he showed a big picture of all of the senators' faces to call them out, to shame them publicly. You know, I said yesterday, you know when someone's being political because they're not giving you all of the information and all of the facts. Jimmy is not doing that by mentioning the so-called gun show loophole, where if you can sell a gun between private citizens or a gun show and you're not subjected to the background checks. But he's missing a really important point here. He's not giving you all of the facts here. And that is, how would you ever regulate that? He talks about common sense gun show or gun laws. How would you ever regulate private sale of guns? It's impossible. And would you ever do the same for knives? He's not giving you all of the information because he doesn't want you to have it. I want to share with you one other tweet that was tweeted yesterday from a politician. The governor of Kentucky, Matt Bevin, who tweeted, to all those political opportunists who are seizing this on the tragedy in Las Vegas to call for more gun regs, you cannot regulate evil. And this is the reason I like Matt Bevin.
Glenn Beck. Love. Courage. Truth. Glenn Beck.
Doc Thompson in for Glenn. I'll be with you tomorrow. Then Pat Gray will be pinch hitting on Thursday and Friday as well. Coming up immediately following this broadcast on the Blaze Radio Network, Pat Gray is going to be covering the Alex Jones video from yesterday.
He connected the dots. I'm so glad Alex Jones is in our lives.
I cannot fully do it justice. I didn't talk about it. I didn't discuss it this morning on our broadcast on the Morning Blaze because I knew I couldn't do it justice like Pat Gray.
Oh, he's so good at it.
Pat Gray has covered the crazy that is Alex Jones for a while, even on this program. I mean, you know, if you're a regular listener to this broadcast, that Glenn and Pat and Stu and Jeffy have covered this quite a bit. Alex offered up some insight to the shooting in Las Vegas.
Brilliant.
And by brilliant, we mean...
amazing.
And by amazing, we mean crazy. Even for Alex Jones, this is like crazy. I'm telling you, here's what's going on.
Does it have to do with the gay frogs?
No, but he throws out... I'm not going to spoil it for you.
Yeah, don't spoil it.
He connects a lot of dots.
It's all about the flicker rate.
He connects the dots and even brings in a dot that's even not a dot. It's so far off the chart. But you're like, okay, all right, there we go. Pat will cover that today. Just go to theblazeradio.com for more information. All right, we'll get some calls. 888-727-BECK. 888-727-BECK. We'll also get some tweets and some comments from the Facebook as well.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, fell asleep on that one. You have this one. This is interesting, Doc, because you've been very critical of the left. And Ron says...
I was like... When specifically? You mean beginning in 1995?
The last 2 hours.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Very critical. You know, you're mocking them.
Have I been mocking them?
Very mockfully.
Really?
Yes.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Ron brings a good question, and actually, I support Ron right here.
Okay,
Ron,
what is it?
I stand with you.
Let me have it.
He says, I've heard a lot of mocking others
Yes.
for offering solutions.
Yes, and I'm glad you bring this up because we bring up solutions all the time.
But none from you. See? You're all about blah, 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 blah. What about you?
Okay. Yes, I am about the blah, 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 blah. I don't appreciate the high-pitched blah, blah
I'm sorry.
though.
Blah, blah.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Yes, I have solutions to this thing. Are you talking about the shooting in Vegas?
Yeah, what's the solution?
The mass murder?
You know,
How
you
we
got
keep
people,
that from happening?
Yeah, you got Vicente, the ex-former president
Vicente Fox.
saying, gun control.
Right.
You got Jimmy saying, hey, we need to push more gun control.
Right.
So what is your solution? Doc Thompson, ready, go.
I will offer those solutions now. As I do, let me first say, as far as gun control goes, the reason that is not a solution is because, first of all, when has gun control ever been inclusive of the government or the people in power? Chuck Schumer talks about gun control, and he owns a gun. Lots of these politicians talk about gun control. They own guns. Lots of the political left, the Hollywood, the limousine liberals out there, they talk about gun control. They own guns. Many of them have security that own guns. They hire security forces with guns. So they're being hypocritical. What they're saying is they don't want you to have a gun. Gun control has been used to keep you, the masses, from having guns. The history of the world is one of oppression. That's the truth. The history of the world is about some people having power. Now, they can set it up as a dictatorship, an oligarchy, a theocracy, any of these. They can even set it up as a seeming democracy or even a republic. That can happen as well. Because what happens, well, even an oligarchy, those people in power, whether it's power through money, influence, or an outright dictatorship, theocracy, or any of these, they still have access to guns. And they want access to keep you, the masses, from having them. That's the history of the world. Part of the genius of America was that we would do the best to stave that off, to keep that from happening. And we have, for the most part. There are still those influential powers. Obviously, there's corrupt members of the government and some people that are powerful because of the money and influence they have. But that's the reason I fight so hard for the Second Amendment and others, is because as long as it's there, the playing field is leveled. Gun control only controls the guns from some. And it's not just the criminals. Of course, the criminals are still going to have them, but also those people in power. So my solutions, Chris Cruz and
I still don't hear any solutions.
Ron. Number one, as far as this guy is concerned and what happened in Las Vegas, better mental health screenings, better mental health services. And you know where we would get and have better mental health services? In a redesigned healthcare system where we would have more access to medicine, where all people would have access to medicine because it would be cheap and it would be plentiful. And how do we get that? Less government, less rules, less regulation, and what we have never had when it comes to medicine in America, and that is a free market. The closest we've come is in the infancy of medicine in America, when a person could go to their family doctor out in the country and pay him in a chicken or, a couple dozen eggs or something like that, or a couple of quarts of honey for fixing their kid. That's about the closest we've come. A free market healthcare system would offer better mental health care services. It would be plentiful. It would be cheap. What else would stop this from happening? A better economy. One of the reasons people go crazy and do these things, one of the trigger points is a bad economy. How do they radicalize people in the extremist Muslim countries? How do they radicalize people in America, in the West, to join their crazy exploits? By telling them, how come you don't have more? You're just as good as everybody else. Join us. We'll make you strong. Look, you don't even have anything. I mean, Cal, your family's from Egypt. The Middle East, a lot of poor people, a lot of poverty.
Yeah, primarily poor.
And because of that, a lack of education, a lack of money, people are easy to be preyed upon, to be radicalized because they say you don't have a better economy and better education through a better economy and less government rules and regulations and a free market provides for more money and opportunity for people. A secure border. How else have people attacked people in America? By bringing guns or bad people to America when we don't know who they are or what they have. Secure the border. What else would help? More guns. Yeah, sounds kind of counterintuitive. More guns likely wouldn't have happened, wouldn't have helped with what happened on Sunday night in Las Vegas because the guy was in a room. More guns on the street from the average person probably wouldn't be able to stop him. But a lot of these other cases, Adam Lanza, how about Cho at Virginia Tech? How about the movie theater in Aurora, Colorado with James Holmes? These were all gun-free zones. They were all gun-free zones. There were no guns except for the illegally gotten guns from those criminals who had nefarious intent. More guns in those places would have at least given the opportunity for people to stop the rampage of those knuckleheads. By the way, most casinos gun-free zones. Not that he shot people in the casino, but he was in a hotel. Did it stop him from taking the gun in the hotel? No. So more guns is something. What else will help? A less oppressive government. What do I mean by that? I mean, with a less oppressive government, I get to make more decisions for myself. I get to have more money and keep more money to make my life and my family better. More education, more opportunity, and a government that'll stop pissing me off by telling me how I'm supposed to raise my children and run my life. Because that's less of a trigger. And finally, when it comes to some of this stuff, better police work. I'm not criticizing the cops. Cops do a pretty good job, but their hands are tied quite often because of police unions and the political left telling them that they're bad and they're just indiscriminately shooting people, or even worse, purposely just shooting people and killing them because of their race. Better police work and more respect. And finally, more appreciation for life. And we get that by recognizing our higher power and being more thankful of what we have. Human life is cheap in most parts of the world. Human life doesn't count for much. They don't value it. It just doesn't matter. We've always valued it in America because we have that higher power and different covenants with God. We help each other. The history of America is people getting together for barn buildings to help their neighbor. In times of crisis, look at what happened with Hurricane Harvey and Hurricane Irma, and even now with Hurricane Maria in Puerto Rico. Americans help people. Americans help the world. America has saved the world countless times from bad guys. So more faith and more appreciation for what we have, and a little more respect from our neighbors. These things will all stop some of this violence from happening. But you've got to remember one thing. Nothing will stop all of it. There will always be some bad. We can tamp most of it down. We can get rid of most of it with the things I just mentioned. But there will always be some. And at those times, we have to fight against the natural knee-jerk reaction from a lot of the people we've discussed today on the air to say something must be done as they wring their hands and call for more oppression. Government oppression has led to more bad than guns. So, when those rare cases under the system I just discussed happen, we have to make sure we don't join with those people who are obviously upset, emotional because of the circumstances, and say, hold it. Mourn, be upset, get the information, get closure. All of that's therapy, that's fine. But stop right now before you make a knee-jerk reaction based on your emotions. As long as the imminent threat is gone, hold it. Wait, stop. We can discuss this. We can move ahead. Because most of what you want to do is a slippery slope that's going to bring about a lot more bad. There's a story at TheBlaze.com. I have had my differences with Bill O'Reilly over the years. Seems like a nice guy. I think I met him one time. I don't agree with a lot of what Bill says, and I agree with some of what he says, but I've had differences. But one of the smartest things Bill has said is a story that's posted at TheBlaze.com. Bill O'Reilly said of this tragedy, and I'm paraphrasing, but this is the price of freedom. Some bad will always happen in a free society. But good people will keep a lot of it from happening, and when it does, will make sure that there are the best circumstances in that bad. This is the price for freedom. And if you're willing to give up some freedom because of some bad, you will end up with neither safety and security nor freedom, to paraphrase Ben Franklin. Back in a minute with more on the Glenn Beck program.
Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck.
Hi there, it's Doc Thompson in for Glenn today, along with Chris Cruz and Cal. Regularly heard on the Morning Blaze. Just go to the blazeradio.com. You can find out more about us. Throughout our program, we usually use the hashtag What I Learned Today on Twitter, and we submit different comments about the broadcast, and we'll share those communiques. Got some coming in right now. Again, at Doc Thompson Show. Please follow me. You want to turn that mic on button on. There you go.
You got American Shrug saying, well said, Doc, well said.
Thank you.
Yeah, I tuned you out. I completely tuned you out. I know you asked me, hey, how was that?
How was that? Did it make sense? Because I go to the break, Chris is challenging me. You didn't offer any solutions.
I did.
You're standing with Ron, give me the business. So I go, how was that? And Chris like, I wasn't listening.
Yeah, I was doing some other things. Yeah, sorry about that.
Okay.
Julie says, Doc Thompson, maybe the problem is we're too medicated.
That's definitely part of it. We are crazy ass medicated now. I'm serious. Just nutty amounts of medication.
You got Steven English saying, what I learned today, Doc Thompson is not Mocky face?
Mocky McMock face.
I like that.
That's because anytime they ask anybody to name anything online, it becomes something McSomething face.
Yeah.
Name this boat, Boaty McBoat face. They name this school, Schooly McSchool face. So a couple months ago, and I know everyone does that.
I know.
But stupidly, I was like, okay, my wife is pregnant again, and she's due.
Wait, what?
She's pregnant again.
Oh, wow. Kyle, did you hear that? Because you usually
pregnant face?
No. I didn't ask you to name her, goof. So she's due after the first of the year in January. So I was like, hey, a couple months ago, I go, we're looking for some different names.
Yeah, because you have to have a weird name.
Well, because my last name's Thompson. It's one of the most common names in America.
So what's your oldest son's name?
I'm not sure if I want to disclose that.
What is your second child's name?
I'm not sure I want to disclose that.
And what is your third?
What's your dog's name?
Effing dog.
Doggy McDoggerface.
That. So I go, my son's name is Tiger.
Okay. Tiger, okay. Interesting, unique. Very unique.
And Jet.
Again, very unique.
Okay.
AKA, hold on, AKA
Cubby.
Okay.
That's his nickname, though.
Okay.
It's a whole other thing. Anyway, so I'm like, I just need a name, and I'm trying to come up with something, and just something different or whatever. And really thought, stupidly for a moment, our audience in the morning would be like, hey, here's a historical name. Help me out. And what name do they get? Kid McKidface, Baby McBabyface.
Tommy
Face. That was it. And I was like, okay. All right, good.
Because you also put out there that you wanted to be something with has like connection to the founding fathers.
Well, I said if I could find something like that. But I can't pick like George after George. By the way, Cubby, the other night we're at dinner, my wife goes, something about the baby, and he goes, name, and he goes, George Washington.
Ooh.
And I was like, wow, the problem is, I go, George? You know how many George Thompsons there probably are?
Hold on. So Cubby came out. He's 3, right?
Yes.
And he says...
George Washington. What was that look for?
Cal, when you talk to your daughter, Zena... Zena, sorry.
She's not the warrior princess.
No, she's not. I wish, though. It would be kind of cool.
She's got the energy of a warrior princess.
And you say, hey, let's name... Because you also are... you just had a baby,
they just
right?
had another baby.
Yeah.
When you ask her, hey, what should we name your sister?
Did she come up with the founding father?
Did she say, I don't know, what's George Washington's wife?
Martha.
Martha? Did
No, she
Martha
said Moana.
Washington?
She's a big Disney fan.
Of course my son's going to know a little, founding father, whatever.
I have a feeling that he's going to get beat down.
So I can't go Tom Jefferson.
No, you cannot.
This is all too common. I give you Patrick Henry. It's all common names.
I hate to break it to you, but pretty much all the founding fathers were George, John, Adam, none of them.
No. So, but that's the reason I was asking for help, and we haven't come up with any. So we got a couple.
What's wrong with those names? Those are strong, solid,
They're
biblical
great
names.
That's not the point. The
Why
point
are you poo-pooing?
is because there are a billion of them out there. I'm trying to give something.
Because they're solid names.
Right, exactly. You know how many Bob and Don Thompsons there are and everything else? There's going to be a billion of them.
I'm thinking here, isn't there a family member that is named after a plant or a seasoning or a ingredient?
My father's, he's dead now, but his name was Basil.
I mean, I'm so sorry for his passing.
That's the reason we all got really common names, because he hated his name. So I guess he gave us common ones. We all thought ours were too common. All right, what is it?
Your kid.
All right, go ahead.
Paprika.
Okay, my now dead sister.
Paprika Thompson. How good does that sound?
Went a little bit crazy and wanted that to be her official chef name as she was going to chef school.
Paprika.
Ha! I was like, no, sorry, that's a fail.
Glenn Beck.
Are you worried about your mom or dad living alone in their house? Hi, I'm Joan London. Listen, I know how difficult it is to find senior care for someone you love. That's why I recommend a free service called A Place for Mom. They are the nation's largest senior living referral service. Call A Place for Mom today.
To receive free information on senior living communities in your area, call A Place for Mom at 1-800-803-6951.
You're listening to the Glenn Beck Program.
Okay, now I got a bunch of people suggesting names for my son.
I love them all.
Do it the first of the year, just after the first of the year. Our buddy DM and DM, the proprietor of American Pride Roasters Coffee at AmericanPrideRoasters.com, just sent, how about Carver?
What about Carver? Like you carving?
Carver.
Like you carving things like pumpkin?
Carver. Like George Washington Carver? He's a historical figure. A guy you should certainly admire. Genius. Sure.
Yeah.
And we currently live in Northwest Arkansas, Bentonville area, and he grew up real close to there. How do you think about Carver? It's unique. What do you think?
It's unique, but I think of carving, though.
Okay, that's a fail then. Okay.
What about middle name? If you pick Carver, what would you go for? Because,
Up.
You got C.
Up. Chris is like slowly getting that one. Okay, maybe Carver's not great. Now, Bob Blah Blah.
Love the Bob Blah Blah.
Love the Bob Blah Blah. Tweeted at us, how about Button?
Like a button?
Yeah, to honor Button Gwinnett, a less popular signer of the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
Or lesser known.
What about Coolidge?
Hang on, here's the problem. I don't know much about Button Gwinnett. I'm admitting my failure on that one. Now, I know some of the other lesser-known founding fathers, like one of the ones, a guy represented on the back of the Delaware Quarter.
Sure.
Caesar Rodney. Oh, my gosh, this guy was awesome.
What about Caesar?
Thought about that, and the wife poo-pooed it.
Why? It's a dressing. It's a fascinating dressing.
I think that's why.
Oh.
And then you could also most people would think you're naming him Caesar after Julius Caesar, who was a dictator. So you see the confusion there? You know what I'm saying?
And he did get stabbed, right?
Yes, many times. Et tu, Christian? You don't know? And you? That's what Brutus said. Or that's what he said when Brutus said, et tu, Brute? Okay, never mind. Yeah. Anyway, so people would think Caesar. So it's a bit of a fail there. And then Governor Morrissey.
Sure. Another. Celebrate his entire catalog.
From New York, Governor Morrissey, founding father. That cat, awesome as well. Know quite a bit about him. Governor Morrissey, like his first name was Governor, spelled a little differently than Governor.
Okay. Okay, that's pretty cool.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying, right?
Hold on, that's pretty cool.
I tried to talk my wife into Governor.
Spelled what way?
I can't remember, but it's not like
It's not the normal
not
governor.
like
Yeah.
governor of a
Talk
state.
about douchey.
What's wrong with Governor?
Want to name your kid Governor?
Governor Thompson.
It's
That
spelled
would be
differently.
his first name still.
And call him Gov.
That's
what up,
so
Gov?
douchey.
I like
What's
that.
wrong with that?
I like that, actually.
You want him to get beat up at school? Is that what you're trying to do?
It's like a boy named Sue. You either learn to fight or you get beat up.
How long ago did you bring this up to the wife?
Would his middle name be Senator? Governor Senator Thompson?
There would be a problem if he ever became a governor.
Governor.
Or Senator Governor. I like it. I like that one.
How long ago did you bring this up?
Over the summer.
Okay.
Should I revisit it?
Hold on. Let's tag team this.
Okay.
Let me just bring it out there.
You bring it up to my wife.
Yep. Because, we
Okay.
text, I think, every other day.
Yeah, what is with you talking to my wife and Cal's wife?
Okay. It's very rude for me not to text back to people that text me.
Okay, I don't know. Cal, he communicates with our wives more than we do.
And Jeffy's wife. Communicate with Jeffy.
Yes,
Okay.
it's very nerving.
So, but in this case, okay, so you throw it out there?
Yeah, I'll throw it out there. You seal the deal.
How about Morrissey?
Who's that?
Governor Morrissey.
Oh.
The problem is there's that douchey singer who's nuts, Morrissey. Oh, he's crazy. So, yeah, I couldn't do that. But you could go Governor Morrissey Thompson.
Governor Morris.
That's horrible.
Yeah, that's way too much.
Okay, fine.
And then the initials doesn't work out.
GMT? It's Greenwich Mean Time. That's the abbreviation for Greenwich Mean Time. GMT.
Oh, my God, you had that right there.
Dude, I'm just fast. What are you talking about?
You had that right there.
JJ tweeting, how about Charles Sumner Thompson? Not bad. The problem is Charles Thompson. Going to be a lot of Charles Thompsons out there. Again, I'm trying to,
What about Grover? You don't hear a lot of Grovers anymore.
Grover.
But the problem with that.
The Muppet?
Yeah.
Oh.
Hello. Right? You got that going.
What about Benton? You live in Bentonville.
I don't know. How about Benjamin Franklin face? Somebody, don't think they're taking. Now, TJ tweeted, how about Quincy? Here's the problem. Quincy, unique name, Quincy Thompson. Okay, got a Q as an initial. That's not bad. The problem is if you're going after like a founding father, or not even he wasn't a founding father, but an early historical American figure, are you going for John Quincy Adams? Is that what you're going for?
I think so, if you
John
are.
Quincy Adams was a little douchey.
But what? Isn't there a singer, Quincy?
Quincy Jones.
Yeah, so I think
And there was the 70s TV show, Quincy.
Huh.
Jack Klugman starred. No. What do you like, Quincy, Cal? No?
I don't like it.
See, that's what I'm saying, too. So it's got to be a founding father you like or a historical figure you
So
like.
that's a must. It must be a founding father.
No,
or
I'm just saying if I'm going through, if you're going to name after somebody historical, you don't want to, hey, Jack the Ripper Thompson. You don't name somebody that's
Well, TMB Saddle Tramp saying, and I like this one, Earthwater F-Water Face Thompson.
Earthwater is our sponsor in the morning. Just go to earthwater.com/TheBlaze and try it. Wonderful product. I'm not sure I want it branded. Would they pay me for it?
Oh, they are kind of.
Got to be millions on the table.
Ooh.
I think I'd be willing to do that.
I think.
It'd be horrible, though.
Earthwater Thompson.
You can use the whole life. Listen, I made $4 million off it, kid. Sorry.
Cash
Sorry.
is a cool name. Cash from Earthwater.
Cash.
That's right. One of the guys who markets and works for Earthwater's name is Cash
Thompson.
I love that Cash.
Really?
Well, the name. The guy. Yeah.
You know the C in J.C. Penney is Cash?
So what's
Cash
the cool
Penny.
thing?
I think it's James Cash Penny.
Are you messing with me?
No, I'm serious.
You like to mess with me.
I'm pretty serious about that.
What about Cena McWarrior Face?
Okay, now you're just being goofy.
Oh.
Okay, Coolidge. How about that?
I like that. You have a mug that says Coolidge that you voted for.
Calvin Coolidge, yeah. Yeah, it says, someone left a mug here that says, don't blame me, I voted for Romney.
Yeah.
And I put a piece of tape where it says, don't blame me, I voted for Coolidge. No, I'm not that old. That's the joke. I floated out there, Calvin Coolidge Thompson. And the wife shot that down. How's that, Cal?
Calvin's okay.
Because it's
I don't know if you
Cal.
want to go Calvin Coolidge Thompson.
Because that's because that's your name? Because you got a nickname,
think
Cal?
so. I think so.
That just happened by accident.
I think so.
The other the thing that you should really consider, we're trying to consider, something that could be a good nickname. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, but no, don't give me that.
Why are you saying that?
Because your youngest son is Jet.
Right.
Because by Cubby.
I did not pick that.
That makes no sense.
Okay, I kind of picked it. But it wasn't meant to be his nickname moving forward. It was just when he was in utero and shortly thereafter, and it just stuck.
Because when I talk, and I love talking to your son, it's about Cubby do this. I'm like, what do you mean? Like, Cubby do this.
Right, third person, you know.
I'm like, wow, this kid is so brainwashed that Cubby is.
What about something like Indiana? Like Indiana
We
Jones.
named the dog Indiana.
Indiana Thompson.
So you got to have a good name. But Jet would be a good nickname. I mean, something like that.
Jet is a good nickname,
fine, right.
but how do you...
Okay, my oldest son, Tiger, Ty.
I like that,
Ty,
Ty.
right?
Is it a Y or an I?
We just spelled it with an I.
Okay.
That's a whole thing. You get into whole spelling with a Y your whole life. You're like, no, it's with a Y. It's whatever. So trying to come up with that. It's got to be a decent nickname, too.
Prescott Thompson.
Oh, my gosh. Did you just text my wife?
Maybe.
You did, didn't you?
Maybe.
You son of a gun. Did you? Because that's one of her names. You son of... I was like, did somebody actually... Oh, you jerk. I was like, somebody actually came up with that. She wanted Prescott. I was like, seriously, Cal, come on. That's one that's going to get you beat
You
up.
and your wife, man. Prescott?
I don't like this. Don't put that one on me.
Yeah, but you want to name him Governor. You're not any better.
Governor is good. That's historical.
I'll give you that.
You guys
Governor
seriously
is
want this
pretty
kid to have issues growing up, man.
Okay. Did you... That was from her, wasn't it? It had to be.
No, it was a listener.
No, because she really... That was one of my wife's. That was
really?
one of her, like, two or three go-to
I can't take
names.
credit. That was Dave on Twitter. He said Prescott Thompson. So maybe she's hiding, with a Twitter.
No, I think somebody just threw it out there, too. There's somebody else crazy that thinks that's a good name as well.
What about Grayson?
Oh, somebody said, how about Rodney Caesar? RC for short. So you do Caesar Rodney backwards.
That's my initials, RC.
Yeah, okay. But yeah, Rodney's kind of a womp womp, right? Sorry, Rodney's. People named Rodney.
What about Forrest?
Run, Forrest, run. Really?
No, you got Beck here saying Forrest and middle name Franklin.
All right, there is a historical Forrest too, but I think in today's world, everyone's going to think Forrest Gump, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Now, the sad part is, some of the really good names, like if Madison hadn't become an uber common girl's name, that would be a cool name.
Oh, really?
James Madison, pow, as far as founding fathers go.
Okay.
I mean, he's way up there. James Madison from Orange, Virginia, father of the Constitution.
Virginia.
I mean, wow. Now, I could go a couple of routes. I'm from Ohio, so you can go some Ohio, like 8 presidents from, okay, 7, they claim an 8th. 8 presidents from Ohio and 8 from Virginia, my adopted state.
Yeah, you love the Virginia.
Love the Virginia. But a lot of the presidents from Ohio kind of womp womp. You can go James Garfield. I was born in the same county.
Garfield.
Got that orange cat. See?
Oh, my God, you're right.
Otherwise, that could be a cool name.
That is a good name.
Orange cat, sorry.
Garfield Thompson. What would be the middle name? If you pick Garfield, what's the middle name?
I don't know. I haven't come up with one.
Odie.
Oh, I like that cat.
Garfield's dog. See what he's doing there. So that'd be McKinley. It's a girl's name now.
How's McKinley a girl's name?
Is McKinley a girl's name? Yeah, it's a girl's name now. It's becoming William McKinley from Niles, Ohio. You could pick that. How about Taft?
Oh,
One of the, I think he was vetoed more piece of legislation than any. So that's a good one. Fine.
We're Peyton.
Wife didn't like Taft.
What did she like Taft?
I don't know. I think she was out on the Taft.
Was Taft
you got TT, you got the initials.
The fat guy?
Yeah, got stuck in a tub.
Yeah.
Well, they might be sad.
I love that story.
Okay, so you got that. And you got the Harrisons, Benjamin and William Henry, both from Ohio.
Okay.
Grant. I said, how about Grant?
I like strong name.
Ulysses S. Grant.
Yes.
I don't know. She wasn't high on that. So, I don't know. And we kind of ran out of them there.
Gavin?
But that's rad. I have a nephew named Gavin. Probably wouldn't fly. See all these waters you got to navigate? How'd you come up with your son's name?
Milo?
He says Milo like he has other kids. Or like I know some other name he has.
Milo Yiannopoulos.
I'm sorry?
Milo was named after Milo Yiannopoulos.
I don't know what that...
You know, that crazy... No, I'm joking. It's from Milo and Otis.
You talking Milo, the political figure?
Yeah.
You were making a joke, and what is his last name?
Yapalapanen.
Okay, we're going to get a break. This is the Glenn Beck program.
Glenn Beck. Glenn Beck.
Don't forget, on my Facebook page, Facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show, we have posted a couple of minute video, one of our Fast Facts segments on the Second Amendment. So as you continue to try to sadly have to defend your Second Amendment rights, this will help you do it. It'll give you some ammunition because it is the Fast Facts. It's not agenda driven because the facts are laid out there. Now, my course agenda is to support the Second Amendment, but it's all out there. But just go to Facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show and also leave some comments there if you'd like to comment on any of the things we've been talking about, specifically with the murderer in Las Vegas, Stephen Paddock.
And shout out to Bowie. She wrote that and produced
that. Oh,
that.
that's right. Thank you for bringing that up.
Yeah.
Bowie is one of the writers here or whatever. She wrote part of that.
Yes.
She wrote most of that.
You're saying that because she's watching you right now.
I contributed a little bit to it or whatever. But yeah, Bowie did a real good job. So make sure to check that out. Again, Facebook.com/Doc Thompson Show. A couple more tweets and Facebook posts coming in for just talking about names for my son. A lot of people. How about Freedom Thompson, Richard writes?
Yeah, he's going to get beat up.
Freedom's it's going to sound like you were born on a commune or something.
Well, not just that. It's going to sound like Freedom Tower.
Freedom Thompson? Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, Abby Normal giving me the business. Eric Cantor Thompson.
Why Eric Cantor? Is he your favorite?
Because he knows of my powerful dislike for Eric Cantor and all the dirtbag inside the Beltway politics that Eric Cantor is and represented over the years. Amy tweeting out, whenever I'm sad, I remember that Chuck E. Cheese's full name is Charles Entertainment Cheese.
I did not know that.
So we looked it up.
Charles Entertainment Cheese.
The E in Chuck E. Cheese is entertainment.
Wow.
This is such a colossal failure. You know what happened?
What happened?
They named him Chuck E. Cheese, and somebody said, what's he eat? What's he eat? So finally they had to come up with something at the corporate office, and you're like, entertainment.
I got
about the entertainment.
I got it. You ready for this?
What is it?
I'm ready for this. You're not ready for this.
Is it Elroy?
Oh, no,
is
no,
it
no.
Elmer?
Oh, no, no, no.
What is it?
Entertainment, Bob.
Ah, you got it. You got
it's
it.
It's entertainment, Bob.
Very good. Very good. I hate them so much more now. God bless them. Sorry about that. It's just, that's a bit of a fail. Change that, Chuck E. Cheese. I'll like you much more if you change it. If you've got any throughout the days, let us know. I think we've narrowed it down to a couple possibilities, and one of them, not going to share what it is yet.
Okay.
But it is a founding father. It is a part of the name of a signer of the Declaration of Independence.
Okay.
And there were 56 signers. So I've narrowed it down just a little bit, and we're working on it. So I may have come up with one. I don't love it. I'm there. I like the history. I like the guy. I like the whole thing. The name itself is about a 6 out of 10. We'll see how it works out. Thanks so much for joining us. I'll see you tomorrow in the morning on the Blaze Radio Network. Have a great day. Doc Thompson in for Glenn Beck on the Glenn Beck program.
Glenn Beck.